Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are new and this is your first time here, welcome. I am Yolanda Hayes. I am a realtor in the state of North Carolina, but I service only specific areas such as the Triad area, Winston-Salem, High Point, some parts of Greensboro, Lexington, and some parts of Charlotte, depending on if it was a referral. So usually, if this is your first time here, just to explain everything to you, what I do is take real life scenarios and real life situations, and while I'm in the midst of them, whether I'm driving in the car or I am just getting out of a meeting, I like to really let you guys in on what's going on in real life in real time. So I wanted to talk to you guys about the market now in this area, in the state of North Carolina in general, and as well as here in the Triad area. So now that it's warming up a little bit, it was 75 degrees today. As the temperature pretty much, once it starts getting warm, everyone wants to start putting their homes on the market. That's what we call our peak season. Typically around that tax time, January, all the way around till about school year. That's usually our peak season. And then, of course, the fall going into winter is our off-peak season where it's not as many transactions. Don't get me wrong, we're definitely selling during the fall and winter months. It's just not as many people. So right now, what we're dealing with and what we're going to be going into. So this is for buyers that are ready to buy, who are ready right now. Maybe you got your tax income or your tax money and you have a down payment saved up and you want to go ahead and get started. So I wanted to give you guys some tips, some advice, some heads up on what to expect. So this week, this is what generated me to do this video. This week I have met with a few new first-time home buyers, and I am a very honest realtor. I'm probably one of the most honest realtors in this area. So a lot of people do come to me because they want that truth. They want that, someone to be honest. You don't want to be caught off guard or sidetracked. This buying a home is very, very important. It is very overwhelming. It's very emotional. And you want someone that is going to be honest with you so that you don't find out something later on. So I spill the tea, I spill the beans, I tell everything because I want my clients to know what they're getting themselves into. So this week I've met with several buyers, and what prompted this video was a couple of things. So most of the buyers that I met with this week, they were unaware of, the due diligence fees, or basically the upfront cost. If you are someone who's always watched my videos or always been on my channel, you guys know that I always talk about the upfront cost that you're going to have. I always talk about that in my home buyer education classes. And that's, again, why so many people come to me as their realtor, because I'm probably the only one. I'm not the only one, but I'm the only one that really, really goes into detail. Like, I really go into detail with the sales contract so that you know what you're getting yourself into. So earnest money, earnest money, due diligence fees, appraisals. A lot of banks are requiring for appraisals to be paid for upfront. Home inspections, and there's several things that have to be paid for up front. So this is not something that you can roll into your closing costs. It's not something that you can pay at the end. This is up front. So within the first, basically as soon as you find a house and you got it under contract, money is due. You have two checks, the due diligence, earnest money, then you got to get a home inspection, then you got to get an appraisal. That all costs money. So I go in very, very much detail about all of that during the buyer consultation. And this week, my buyers have been very surprised, very shocked to hear what they do have to bring to the table up front. So whether it ends up being $2,000 altogether between the earnest money, the the due diligence fee, the appraisal, and a home inspection, I mean, it may be closer to $3,000. And that's not money you can, like I said, roll into your closing cost or anything like that. The earnest money is due at the time of contract. The due diligence fee is due at time of contract. So those typically together, combining them together in this market, we are still in a seller's market in this area. Those two combined together could be 1,500 to 2,000. Okay. So then you have a $400 to a $500, sometimes even more. Sometimes that could be $600 appraisal fee based on the bank that you are going to be getting your loan with. Like the banks that I use, they do run anywhere between $450 and $550. And I'll explain the difference of why they are higher in another video, but that's something that you have to pay up front in most cases. The reason that banks are now asking for the buyer to pay for the appraisals upfront out of their own pocket, because many years ago, banks would go ahead and pay it. Banks would just go ahead, send the appraiser out and pay the bill to the appraiser. And then they will ask you as the buyer to pay it in your closing cost at closing. Well, unfortunately, sometimes the closings don't happen. Sometimes a credit score will change, or finances will change that will cause the closing not to happen and the loan be denied. But the bank had already paid the appraisal, so they were left with, minus $450 or whatever, and that's multiple buyers. So if you are a company and you have multiple buyers that are failing to get approved for a loan, and you've already paid the appraisal up front, you are losing a lot of money. So that is over now. Most banks are having you pay that up front now, so that they are not responsible for the appraisal fee. Then you have a home inspection. Based on the square footage of your home home inspection may range anywhere between like $500 to $600. If you're getting a pest inspection or for termites and stuff like that, which I do recommend. So you can get a pest inspection as a part of your home inspection. So you're looking at like $3,000 or a little bit more. And again, a lot of buyers are shocked to hear that. And they're not prepared to have $3,000 to put towards this stuff. In addition to that, you have to look at your down payment. You have, as a part of your loan, whether you are getting a conventional loan or you are getting a FHA loan, you have down payment. Yes, there are down payment assistance programs. So another thing that I am dealing with is a lot of my buyers are not wanting to do the down payment assistance program. And that's after here in North Carolina, the state of North Carolina offers what is called the North Carolina Housing Program, where they give you $8,000. That sounds great. It's forgiven. You don't have to pay the money back. That sounds wonderful. And that's what really gets a lot of buyers' attention, is the fact that they give you $8,000 and it is a grant. So you don't have to pay it back, but you do have stipulations with that money. And this is why some home buyers are like, all money, not good money. It's kind of like that. It's good money, but the stipulations with it would be, number one, you have to keep the house for 15 years. So 15 years, it is prorated at the 11th year. So that means if you have to sell the house, when it's not, maybe you're in your 5th year or your 8th year, you do have to pay the $8,000 back. It is only forgiven after, like, fully 100% forgiven after the 15-year mark. So that's kind of putting you set in stone to remain in that house for 15 years. Or, like I go ahead and tell some of my clients, go ahead, get in the house now. Get in the house now. Get the $8,000 now. And then prepare a savings account, a savings plan for yourself to start to have money depositing into that savings account. And when you reach $8,000, go ahead, give them their money back if you know you need to move. Or, so this is another stipulation. You cannot refinance during those 15 years. The interest rates are too good right now. So that's why a lot of buyers are like, I want a good, interest rate now. So here it is. If I'm not mistaken, and please somebody correct me if I'm wrong, this North Carolina Housing Down Payment Assistance Program requires you to have a 5.25 interest rate. Now, it could be 5.5, but I know it's over 5%. Okay? So 5.25 is what I believe it is. It could be 5.5, but 5.25, that is high. That is a high interest rate. Your payments would be much higher than if you already had your down payment saved up and paid it yourself. Okay? So right now, interest rates are like 3.6, like 3 point, you know what I'm saying? So if you already have your down payment saved up, or if you are able to have an immediate family member, okay? So immediate family can gift you your down payment, okay? You can also use your 401k without penalty. So if you have a good amount in your 401k at work, you're not penalized for using your 401k as a down payment. You're not penalized for that. So think about those things, okay? There are down payment assistance, but there are stipulations, and those stipulations may not be in your best interest. However, again, if you just don't have it, you just don't have it. But the $8,000 is available to you. What I tell some of my people, if you want to refinance, maybe in 2 years or maybe in a year, you can save up $8,000 just to get into your home now. Go ahead and get into your home. A year from now, you may have saved up $8,000 and you can go ahead and refinance and pay that money off and be done with it. Okay? So there's ways around it if you look at the bigger picture. The bigger picture is to get you in your home, right? Get you in this home and then pay them their money back so you can go ahead and refinance in a couple of years. So some of my buyers, they are very, at this moment, like, I don't know if I want to buy right now, after hearing this news, or after hearing how much they have to have up front, after hearing about the stipulations with the down payment assistance. They're like, I think I'm going to hold off and keep renting. Guys, that don't make sense. That don't make sense because you're wasting money renting. You're never going to own the money that you're paying, the $1,000 a month, the $900 a month. That could have went to your mortgage. That could have went to your mortgage. The money that you're spending in rent will never amount to anything for you. You are paying your landlord's bill. You are paying the property management company. You are paying the rental company, whoever owns the whole apartment complex building. You're paying their bills. So why put it off? And the money that you're spending on rent, that money could have been going towards your actual mortgage that you own the home to. So think about it in the bigger picture. Go ahead and either go ahead with the down payment assistance, save up and pay it back. Find a family member. Maybe you got a rich, dad or something to give you some money towards your down payment. and let it be a gift from them, or go ahead and save up or use your 401k at work. But I just wanted to give you guys all the information that you need to make that sound decision, okay? So the second thing I wanted to talk to you guys in this video about were multiple offer situations. That is something else I am dealing with right now. I have had a buyer of mine looking for a home for about 2 months, and I have to say it's been stressful for them. It's been stressful for me. It's been emotional for them. It's been emotional for me. I'm trying to tell you guys that inventory is low. And what that means is the sellers are in control pretty much. The sellers are in control. And what's happening is one house will come on the market in a specific price point, and there may be 16 other buyers that are also, number one, looking in the same area you are. They're looking in the same price range you are. So if multiple offers are happening, maybe you're going against 2 other buyers, my clients have lost all of them. Okay, my clients have lost several, they just lost deals, and it's definitely hurtful and heartbreaking and nerve-wracking because you feel like you're putting your best foot forward. You feel like you are just doing everything that you possibly can, and it's just not working out. My best advice right now is for you not to get emotionally attached or emotionally involved with a house until you are already under contract, okay? Because it definitely it puts a bad taste in your mouth. When you fall in love with a house, you're walking in the door and you feel like this is home for you and your family, and then you get the phone call that the house that you bidded on, another buyer basically outbidded you, They came with a better offer. So this couple that I have right now, I am pleased to announce and pleased to say we are now under contract. We are now under contract, and we won a multiple offer bid. Finally, finally, we won a multiple offer bid. How we won it, that's what I want to talk to you guys about. Okay, so we won because, now I was out of town. I had to negotiate this deal from 8 hours away. I was back home in my hometown in Ohio. And, I had another agent here showing my clients properties, and they ended up loving one of the properties and they wanted to put in an offer. So, y'all, I negotiated the heck out this deal, and I told my clients, how bad do you want this house? Don't worry, don't ask me, what should you offer? How bad do you want this house? And, they were offering, maybe a little bit over the asking price. I think we ended up doing a couple thousand over the asking price. But that due diligence and earnest money is very important, okay? So they were wanting to offer one amount for the due diligence and one amount for the earnest money deposit. I told them, hey, would you take this amount? If you had other offers on the table, would you take this amount? I'm going to just suggest that you increase it, okay? So they increased I said, is this the best offer? If you go to bed at night and you are going to not toss and turn all night saying, I should have offered more, what could I have done differently? Because you only get one shot, okay? If you go to bed and know that you gave your all and you did your highest and best, that is the only offer you should be presenting, is your highest and best the first time around. So I asked him, is this your highest and best? Will you be able to sleep through the night like a baby and not question your decision? Is this what you want to do? They went up in price, okay? They went up in price, and then I gave them a step forward, an extra step. I said, do me a favor. Write a letter. Write a letter to the seller and let that seller know how much you love their house, how beautiful their house is, how you would love to raise your family in that house. Write a nice letter to the seller, a heartfelt letter, and say, hey, we have been looking for a house for 2 months. Your home is beautiful. Your home gives us everything we need. Da 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 da, whatever. Y'all, we won the bid, and the agent told me it was because the letter did it. So yes, we definitely went higher in the price, but that extra touch just to let the sellers know how good their house is for my clients, that is what got the seller to agree with and negotiate with my clients. So I negotiated all night long. It was almost 11 p.m. and I was still up negotiating the deal. And we're under contract. So I just want you guys to be prepared to fight. Be prepared. And in order for you to be prepared, you have to have your ducks in a row. You have to have your money in a row. You have to have everything ready to go. Because you're going to war. This is war. You can look at you can look at it as you're going to war. You're going up against, for every house that you love, there's 8 other buyers that want that same house. So just be prepared, and I prepare you. Okay, so if you are someone that's looking for a realtor, please give me a call. I'm going to leave all my contact information down below. And I have a whole team. So my loan officers will go ahead and take a look at your credit. They'll look at your debt to income ratio. And, you know, I just, again, want to be honest about the actual market. You have to be able to qualify for at least 180,000 and up. There are not a lot of homes in this area, in the Triad area, that are under $180,000. We are running out of those homes, okay? So those homes, anything under 80,000, 180,000, that's where you see most of the multiple offer situations. Now, this one that I was just talking about, that one was well over 180 and we still was fighting, okay? So that one was well over 200,000 and we were still fighting. Inventory is low and you still have to be able to qualify. So that debt to income ratio, what is showing on your credit report as debt, your monthly debt versus your monthly income, is a debt to income ratio that is going to determine the amount of money you can get approved for through a bank. So unfortunately, I'm just being honest. If you can only get approved for like 140 or 130, it is going to be tough for you to find a home in that price range that you are able to win the bid, because you are going up against people who are paying cash money, okay? They are out here making it rain, okay? Cash money. These investors, I have worked with several investors and I have seen their bank statements. 12 million, 7 million. You cannot go up against someone who can pay out cash and all you can get is a loan. So I just wanted to be honest with you about that, because this is definitely an emotional process. So try your best to pay down that car, pay off credit cards. What you have in your debt on your credit report, try to pay that down as much as you can in order for your debt to be much lower than what you're bringing in as monthly income, okay? So those are my tips and advice as we go into the spring And this is the time where most people are trying to purchase a home, and I just want you guys to be prepared. If you have any questions, please leave them down below. Again, I will leave all of my contact information down in the description box. Make sure you go ahead, comment, subscribe, and always like this video. If you have any relatives or someone that you need to share this video with, go ahead and share it. I am definitely taking on new clients right now, and I am taking on, and I'm sorry, I am about to do another homebuyer education class. So if you're interested in that and want that information, make sure you go ahead and send me a message via email, and I'll be happy to make sure I get that information to you. But thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope it was very informational to you. So thank you so much, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.